Hello, and welcome to the Iceborne Weapon Outlook. I'm Jaden, and I'll be your guide as we explore each weapon in Monster Hunter World Iceborne. My goal being to give you an understanding of what each weapon is capable of. With 14 weapons to choose from, it can be hard to pick one to use. Please note that this isn't exactly a 4-course guide on how to play each weapon. If you're struggling to learn the weapon, I will be recommending the guides I use myself in the description. I do not intend to replace existing guides, force certain playstyles, or undermine specific playstyles. I merely wish to help those new to the game get an idea of what each weapon is capable of, especially with the final updates soon approaching. Before we begin, this video will be focused on the Iceborne expansion moveset. If you do not own this expansion, be sure to check your Hunter's Notes or other guides. Separating all the moves based on the expansion would be rather messy. With all that out of the way, let's begin with the weapon outlook. Today, we'll be looking at the Greatsword, an extremely slow weapon that rewards the patient hunter with powerful hits. Greatsword is a weapon that is pretty much the face of Monster Hunter. The box art, official material, and even freaking Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. It isn't exactly Monster Hunter until you're smacking monsters in the face with a sword nearly as large as your body. Though, I guess we should talk about Greatsword and World since it is the subject of this video. In the past, Greatsword was simply a hit and run weapon due to a lack of maneuverability. You wait for an opening, get a hit in, run away, usually adding more hits if the monster was toppled. This made it rather difficult to use against some monsters who would not stay put for long. Fortunately, Monster Hunter World introduced some solid new mechanics to use. It's thanks to these new additions that we aren't stuck playing only hit and run. It's now possible to play the weapon as a very aggressive heavy hitter, shrugging off attacks and taking advantage of the opening with attacks of your own. And all they did was give us 2 major mechanics, even more in Iceborne. There isn't much else I can say about the weapon without talking about the moves, which there are only a few of. Be aware though that as I talk regarding the moves, the button layout will be based on the PS4. This shouldn't be a problem for Xbox controllers, but you will need to examine your buttons for keyboard. Lastly, for training purposes, I will be using the full Defender armor set in the move demonstrations. This will allow me to show the weapon's mechanics without too much influence from skills. If I have to use a different armor set, I will try to wear the full armor set without any extra decorations or charms. Pressing triangle, regardless of your sheath state, will perform an overhead slash. In order to get the full benefit of this attack, you want to charge it. You do this by holding triangle, having your hunter build up power. There are 3 levels of charge, with the final level being signified with your hunter glowing and raising their weapon. If you let the charge release on its own, the attack will be downgraded to a level 2 charge. Instead, let go the moment you see your hunter glow and preparing the attack for the most payoff. After this charge, you can press triangle without a directional input to perform a side blow. This smack can stun monsters, but it shouldn't really be used for actual stuns. What we want to do instead is hold a direction while we press triangle again. By pressing triangle and a direction after a charge slash, you'll do a strong charge slash. This attack is similar to the charge slash, but with higher damage. Once we perform this attack, we can again hold a direction and while pressing triangle. This will perform the strongest attack for Greatsword, the true charge slash. Your hunter steps back and does 2 powerful swings together. If the first attack connects onto the soft part of a monster, the second attack will gain a significant damage increase. The true charge slash is one of the Greatsword's strongest hits and is pretty much the move you want to take advantage of. But, as you can probably tell, getting to this move takes a long time if you use this method. Fortunately for us, we have a few tricks we can use to shorten that gap. Before we talk about that, however, let us cover some of the more simpler moves. After a charge slash, pressing circle will perform a wide slash. This attack works well if you miss your target, but still want to hit them from your side. After a strong charge slash, the move becomes a strong wide slash, a much more powerful version of the attack with a lot of end lag. Like the wide slash, it works well if you missed your target and they're at your side. Pressing triangle and circle will perform a rising slash. While this attack isn't too powerful outside of air-based targets, this has the benefit of knocking allies into the air. Make sure to only do this if you need to help a teammate out of a rough spot, however. Holding R2 will allow you to block attacks using your weapon. If you attempt to block attacks that damage you, it'll damage your sharpness as well. Keep this in mind, as this block is only used if tackling or dodging isn't an option. While blocking, you can press triangle to kick, which can lead directly into a tackle. This kick isn't exactly notable, as it's merely an attack while guard is raised move. However, it is a relatively fast method of going into the tackle without rolling or charging. After a side blow, during a charge, or after any roll, pressing circle will perform a tackle. The strength of this tackle comes from its defensive capabilities and charge cancels. If it wasn't for this, we would be stuck playing Greatsword as a hidden run weapon. Tackling gives you hyper armor, ignoring both damage and flinch reactions such as roars or tremors. Just remember, you aren't invincible with this attack, as a strong enough hit will cause you to faint. You also can't spam it, as it drains stamina heavily and won't regenerate until the animation ends. As such, dodging out of the tackle will leave you with less stamina than you would like. Combine this with a status such as Ice Blight or Water Blight and it will be quite a pain. Instead, use the side blow as a much easier way to prepare for a dodge if you have the time. When it comes to canceling charge levels, tackling makes it rather easy to do so. Performing a tackle during a charge slash will move you to the strong charge slash. The same can be said for the strong charge slash, moving you to the true charge slash. Because of this, it's possible to charge, tackle, true charge slash. In fact, before the introduction of the Iceborne editions, this was the fastest method to reaching the true charge slash. Though, as we'll see soon, tackle canceling isn't everything for Greatsword now. Oh yeah, and if you cancel a true charge slash with a tackle, you'll stay at that level, meaning you can continue to prepare for the true charge slash so long as you're willing to tackle, making the tackle a very strong tool in the Greatsword's kit overall. After a tackle, pressing circle will lead into the jumping wide slash. This attack is pretty much the best way to get a quick hit in if you had to tackle to avoid knockback. It is also one of the aspects where the level or charge before your tackle matters. I hinted earlier that there is a faster method to going into the true charge slash. Here it is, the Slinger burst. Upon performing certain attacks, those being overhead slash, charge slash, strong charge slash, rising slash, side blow, and jumping wide slash, you can press L2 to perform a Slinger burst with your currently equipped Slinger ammo. This one ammo shoots off into multiple, but its range is reduced as a result. It also only consumes one ammo, as opposed to the Clutch Claw Slinger burst consuming all of it. Item-based Slinger ammo such as Dung, Flash, and Screamer Pod shoot off normally. Regular Slinger ammo will shoot off multiple of that one type in a shotgun-like fashion. Bomb and Dragon Pod shoot off into a cloud that explode after a short duration. Pierce, Thorn, Bomb, and Dragon Pods all have the ability to cause the monster to flinch, making these the strongest Slinger ammo to use when attempting to use a Slinger burst. However, with the Greatsword, the Slinger ammo doesn't really matter to us. Performing a Slinger burst automatically allows our next charge to become a true charge slash. It also allows us to redirect ourselves 360 degrees to properly aim it should the target move too much, making the act of using this move the best method of racking up damage. Being a heavy weapon, we tenderize the monster's hide with a single Clutch Claw attack, though as a result, we gain no Slinger ammo, making it rather difficult to take advantage of Slinger bursts too often. Hopefully that may change with the addition of Clutch Claw boost being added in the final update. For the time being, keep an eye on your map for any spots where Slinger ammo can be acquired. If you're fighting an arena type map, dung pods work just as well with the Slinger burst. Lastly, don't forget the strength of the armor skill Slinger capacity. While guarding, holding L2 and using the right stick will allow you to change direction. This is really helpful if you want to guard an attack that might have a deceiving angle. Just remember that you will be sacrificing sharpness to guard attacks. Rising Slash and Wide Slash can be chained together for multiple hits. This is usually only useful if you're attempting to apply a status with Greatsword. Otherwise, its application is very small and not really needed. When performing a charge attack from a ledge or slope, you aren't penalized for overcharging. You can release the button whenever you please and still get the most damage out of it. Just remember that for the slope version, you will do the normal charge at the end of the slope if you hold for too long. Side blow allows a fast method of cancelling the tackle animation, since it is rather long. It also makes it the fastest way of going into the true charge slash if you wish to Slinger burst after a tackle. Remember to press R2 plus triangle after the tackle to perform the side blow. Performing a tackle after a roll is a great method of closing the gap, as well as skipping to the strong charge slash. Use this if you want to take advantage of a toppled monster or continue the damage after landing a true charge slash. If you want to quickly perform a tackle with your weapon sheath, you can guard and cancel the kick into a tackle. This is really nice for taking advantage of a monster attack that has a lot of end lag. Just note, this method of power through attacks won't work at the last second. The timing is highly strict, but after a tackle you can perform an instant charge. I unfortunately wasn't able to perform this myself, so shoutouts to Reddit user PlatinumJZZ for the clip. I will be linking in the description for you to try yourself if you want to. Before we end things off, let me share some strong skill synergies. Defensive skills such as health boost, negate stun, or evade window will be up to you to decide. Everyone has their preferences and I don't want to force mine onto you. Focus reduces the amount of time it takes to fully charge an attack. The less time you have to charge an attack, the more of them you can throw out. This makes it pretty helpful for the more speedy monsters that like to move about. Having a monster's roar ruin a perfectly good charge is the worst thing to happen. To avoid this, earplugs is a very strong skill to consider bringing against certain monsters. Not having to spam tackle can be really helpful to allow more focus on those attacks. Slinger capacity increases the amount of ammo you can carry for various types of Slinger ammo. Higher levels are required to carry monster based ammo, but I say it is overall worth it. Even level 1 or 2 will benefit in areas with Slinger ammo on the ground. Another benefit of Slinger capacity goes towards the Clutch Claw Slinger burst. When you perform a Clutch Claw Slinger burst, the amount of Slinger ammo you use is fixed. So if you have more Slinger ammo than you're supposed to have, you keep it around. Unfortunately, at the time of making this video, Clutch Claw boost is currently not in the game. What this ability does is allow heavy weapons such as Greatsword to gain Slinger ammo from a Clutch Claw Tenderize. Being able to gain more Slinger ammo for the Slinger burst is really helpful. Frostcraft is an ability exclusive to the Velkhana armor set. Frost builds on your weapon, increasing its damage for a limited number of hits. The frost regenerates while the weapon is out, but regenerates faster while sheathed. For Greatsword, the amount of meter you lose is rather large, and the amount it takes to regen is slow. This is fine though, as Greatsword is a weapon that benefits from large single hits. As long as you don't spam Clutch Claw Tenderize attacks, you'll keep the meter around full. Punishing Draw causes draw attacks to deal more damage and cause stun properties to the head. Because only one armor piece of Frostfang Barrioth is required to use it, it pairs well with Frostcraft, allowing one piece of Frostfang and 4 pieces of Velkhana armor to allow for a powerful hit and run playstyle. It's not hard to see that the greatsword is, well, great. Thanks to the new additions it received in World, it has now become an aggressive powerhouse, able to shrug off heavy-hitting attacks and countering back with its own. However, the greatsword is one weapon where it facilitates learning the monster. Positioning is everything with the greatsword, and knowing where to stand and charge will help immensely. As such, don't let the simplistic moveset fool you into believing this is a simple weapon to pick up. If you want to give the greatsword a try, it is helpful to at least practice on simpler monsters. Rathy and Zitzi Aku are my personal choices, especially Zitzi because of his weird movement and odd attacks, as well as him facilitating the greatsword's ability to block non-damaging attacks. In my opinion, I find this iteration of the greatsword to be the best it's been in the series. Dodging backwards, aggressive tackling, and the true charge slash all help it stand out. Returning to the older version of the greatsword would certainly be tricky for me. If you like hard-hitting weapons that are slow, yet rather rewarding to master, greatsword is definitely the weapon for you, and is a pretty solid weapon overall. Just don't be surprised if something aims to ruin your attack you've already prepared. Oh, right. There were a few things I nearly forgot to mention earlier. Greatsword is a raw focus weapon, so elements or status shouldn't be the overall focus. Elements work much better for multi-hit weapons such as dual blades. Also, don't forget to roll after certain attacks to cancel the recovery frames. This weapon is very slow. If you like this video, feedback would be highly appreciated. I intend to make videos similar to this as we lead up to the final update. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, hunters, and happy hunting.